Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another Coffee with Angel. I took a much needed 3 week mini break during the Labor Day weekend, but I am back again, of course, with coffee, and we're going to talk all things silver hair, specifically an FAQ. Well, I get this FAQ all the time about how do you keep your silver hair from turning yellow? How do you keep your gray from looking dull? It's a very, very common question. It's a common challenge to any of us who have silver hair and blonde hair for that matter, because both silver and blonde hair are basically colorless hair. So I'm going to hop on over and see if um, I think we're still live on Instagram. No, I don't know. Instagram is, let's see. Oh, okay. I am live finally on Instagram. Thank you, Meta. I appreciate that. It's got me sweating here. Um, So, got my morning cup of cafe au lait. I feel like this is going to be a 2 day cup, a 2 cup day. I feel like this is going to be a 2 cup day. And right now, the brand that I'm enjoying is a new brand called Three Keys Coffee. And the three keys relate to, now I don't play a trumpet, but the three trumpet keys. I think that's what they're called. And so all of their coffees have like jazzy names, which, resonates with me as a New Orleanian. But it's an independent coffee company, and I love supporting indie coffee companies. So that's my spiel on the coffee of the day. So let's get to how we prevent our silver hair from yellowing, how we prevent our gray from looking dull. The first thing I want you to think about whenever you're thinking about your hair, your silver hair, think of your hair as a white canvas. Because the reason it's silver is because it stopped producing melanin, right? Which is the thing that gives it color. And so that non melanated hair is going to naturally absorb any type of pigment that is introduced to it. And so the first way to keep your hair from looking dull, yellow, or anything that does not allow the natural brilliance of your hair tone to show through is you want to avoid using any products that have synthetic colors or dyes. Any product that has synthetic colors or dyes. And so that includes, of course, the purple shampoos. I have this bottle because I just did a YouTube tutorial on the same topic. But frankly, the brand doesn't matter because they all have the same active ingredient. And if you look at the label, it will be violet 2. Now, if it doesn't say violet 2, it's going to have two primary colors that when you add them are going to do what? Turn purple. Come on, we got the 64 box crayon. You can't you can't trick us with the colors. Okay. So that is why the purple shampoos are not great for your silver hair because it's going to leave it dull. It's going to leave that purple blue residue. And how that manifests itself really depends on what shade of silver or gray you have, right? Because silver hair is just like blonde hair. There are a lot of different colors on that silver gray spectrum. But at the end of the day, introducing any artificial or synthetic colors or dyes are just not good for your hair. And frankly, there are a lot of things on this ingredient panel that are not great for your hair. And we're going to talk about that next week because I'm going to talk about ingredients that you need to avoid. But right now, we're talking about general ways to keep your silver or gray hair from either being dull or yellow. And the other, there's so many problems with the purple shampoos. And I think oftentimes you don't really realize the cost, right? Because it has so much pigment in that product, you're doing extra rinsing, which means you're what? You're drying out your hair. And we know that our hair is just like our skin, it gets drier as we mature. It's just a natural function of aging. And then you also can't use those products all the time because what? you'll look like Gremlin. And those of us of a certain age, we know who Gremlin is. And so, what you're forced to do is buy alternating or secondary products. And it just becomes this vicious cycle of trying to figure out what to use when to wash your hair. You're spending twice as much money as your counterparts because you're buying twice as many products. And we're not even going to talk about what it does to your towels, your clothes, your tile, your shower curtains. And I am very well versed in this because I've been wearing this silver hair my entire life, for other than a few periods, short years, about 4 years in my 30s, when I made the horrible mistake of coloring it. But I've literally embraced this silver hair in my life throughout my adult life. So I've had 40 years of experience of dealing with why purple shampoos are problematic, which is the whole reason I created Maison 276, because all of our products are white. Now, let's go past the purple shampoos because they're not the only products that have colors, synthetic colors. A lot of styling products add artificial colors to the product, and really they have no benefit other than a marketing value. And so, whenever you buy a styling product, always make sure you can see what's inside the bottle of the jar. Sometimes the bottle or jar is not clear. So you always want to make sure, is this product clear? And if it's not, you don't want to use it. And that goes for styling gels, edge gels. And I use a lot of products because right now, as you can see, I have my hair slicked back into a ponytail. I have very thick, what would be categorized as 4C hair. So it takes a lot of gel to slick this back, but the gels that I use are clear. And also, when I wear my hair in this style, I typically, after about 48 hours, I will rinse the styling products out because they will still, even though they're clear, I'll notice they start to turn my hair yellow or dull. And so I have to be very, very careful about that, which is why all of the Maison 276 products are white. Now, another thing that will yellow or dull our hair are heated styling tools. Flat irons are notorious for that. So I would say before you follow the manufacturer's guidelines on a flat iron or any type of styling tool, test it on your silver hair first to make sure that the temperature is not too high. I years ago I flat ironed my hair and I actually used the manufacturer's guidelines, which were almost 400 degrees for my particular type of hair, and it turned my hair yellow. And I was horrified because I thought I had burned it. Unfortunately, I was able to reverse that by using lots of treatments of the clarifier pre-shampoo. But you need to test that, especially if you buy a new heated styling tool. Test it on a small, inconspicuous section of your hair to make sure that it will not burn your hair. Also, whenever you use a styling tool, and this works for anyone, use a heat protectant because that will help protect your hair, regardless of your hair color, from styling tools. But again, if you're a silverista, test that hair in an unconspicuous place, and always, in my opinion, use the lowest possible heating setting to prevent burning or singeing your hair. So let me do some shout outs before I continue. Good morning, Mary. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. Good morning, Deborah from Facebook. And of course, good morning, Denise. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys joining me every Friday for Coffee with Angel. I appreciate your comments in the chats. Thank you so much. And your comments afterwards. I appreciate you. So I hope you're joining your favorite morning brew or whatever it is you need to kickstart your day. So I'm going to take a little sip. Okay, so we've covered products with synthetic dyes and colors. We've covered heating tools. Now, another environmental factor that acts like a heating tool is the sun. So if you're going to be in the sun for a prolonged period of time, you need to, I can't talk this morning. You see, I haven't had that much coffee. Just a sip. Okay. If you're going to be in the sun for a prolonged period of time, you need to protect your hair. Now, this actually applies to any color hair, but specifically to people with silver hair. And if I understand, you don't want to wear a hat or a scarf all the time. So if you're going to be in the sun for an exterior period, a prolonged period of time, that's also a great opportunity to use a heat protectant. Last weekend, I was out every day a lot. I was enjoying being outside. If I work from home, and so I'm inside most of the time. And so I love being outside. And so last weekend, I was outside. Okay. My step counter was like, girl, what are you doing? I was doing all the things outside. So I put a heat protectant on before I went out because I don't think I wore my baseball cap. Most of the time, I'm in my baseball cap phase, but that's another thing. And so I have two types of heat protectants, a spray, and then I have one that's kind of like a serum, but I just put that over my head. Think of it as like sunscreen for your hair. And yeah, so that's what you want to do. Let's see what Deborah's saying. Deborah's saying, my hair is naturally curly when wet, right? And when I wash my hair, it curls up. Yep. So far, me, check, check, check. So what's a good product to use to keep it curly? I just let it dry naturally. Okay, so two things about that. When your hair is wet, when it's drenched, that's when that's when you know your hair's natural state, like your natural curly state, because it's fully hydrated. Like that is its most hydrated state. That is also the time when you want to lock in moisture. So I do that two ways. I use the Restore conditioner as a leave-in. I brush that through actually while I'm in the shower. I detangle my hair while I'm in the shower because that's when it's the most drenched, the most moisturized. So I use the Restore as a leave-in, and I use my detangling brush to make sure I am saturating it and getting it through all the strands. I'll squeeze out the excess water. And then when I get out of the shower, I'll use a few drops of the Revive serum. So first I'll take the dropper and I'll put it on my scalp and just kind of massage it in. And then I'll take 2 or 3 drops, rub it together, and then I'll coat, my hair all the way, especially on the ends, to seal in that moisture, seal the cuticle, and prevent split ends. So if you want to like do a wash and go, then honestly, that's the process you would use. You would use a leave-in conditioner. And if you have fine or thin hair, when it comes to the Restore, use less because it's very concentrated. And then you want to seal in the moisture with a lightweight oil. So you're using the oil to lock in the moisture. What's a good heat protector? Now, of course, I'm drawing a blank because I'm not in the bathroom. One is that I use, the spray one is the Chai, CHI, and it's red. I use that one. And then the oil serum, honestly, I'm drawing a blank. So on my YouTube channel, when I upload this video tomorrow, I'll put a link to the products that I'm referencing today, including both of the heat protectors. That's a great idea. Fine hair, yeah. So fine hair, like a lot of people who have fine hair, we actually recommend they use the Restore conditioner as a rinse out because it is so emollient and concentrated. If your hair is fine and thin, you may not want to weigh it down, but you can use just a little, like a dime. So, I don't know how long your hair is. So I always say with Maison 276 products, use less than you think you need initially because the products are super thick and emollient and rich. There's product in the bottles, not water. So start with a little, and if you need more, you can add more, but always start with any of the products more than you think, less than you think that you need. Okay, so we've talked about I'm recapping. So if you're just hopping on, you'll know what we're talking about. We're talking about ways to prevent your silver gray hair from yellowing. We're talking about how to keep your silver gray hair from looking dull. So we've talked about avoiding products with synthetic colors and dyes, and that goes from everything from shampoos like the purple shampoos to styling products that have colors added. We talked about protecting your hair from and avoiding high heat with your styling tools. So you want to use the lowest possible setting, and also use a heat protectant. Also use a heat protectant if you're going to be in the sun for a prolonged period of time. Now, the final thing we want to talk about, and this is, possibly something that you may not have control over, and that is another environmental factor, and that's the type of water that you use to wash your hair. If you live in an environment, and I do, that has very hard water, then just like those deposits accumulate on your faucets, your shower curtain, your tile, they also accumulate on your hair. So, how do you know if you have hard water? Look at your shower head, your faucets. It's sometimes it'll be green, sometimes it'll be yellow, but those are mineral deposits like lime and calcium. And if you don't have a water softener, those minerals are in your shower head. And so consequently, they're on your hair. And that can contribute to your hair. If you already are prone to dry hair, that can contribute to your hair feeling dry and brittle and wiry, which is why it's important to use products that are specifically formulated for your silver hair, because we know that silver hair, is just prone to being drier, because it's, again, a natural, part of the aging process. So what you want to do is use a gentle, clean clarifier, gentle, clean conditioning clarifier. And the Maison 276 Clarify is a great product for that. How often you clarify your hair really depends on, one, if you have hard water, and two, how much silver hair. If you have salt and pepper, if you have a good mix, you may not need to clarify a lot. If you have hair like me, if you have hair like Denise, who that is pure white, you will use the clarify more frequently. I frankly use it every time I shampoo, because I live in an environment with hard water and I have a lot of white hair. And so that's how protect your hair against those hard water, the minerals. It's just a function of where you live, and I don't have a water softener. So Deborah says my hair is about length to your chin. Okay, all right, okay. So if that's straight, if that's when your hair is straight and fully saturated, right after you get out of the shower, obviously, if it's curly, once it dries, it's going to shrink a little bit. Now, one way to prevent a little bit of shrinkage is to use, if you want to blow dry, but use a diffuser. Don't just have the blow dryer, nozzle just blasting on your hair. The diffuser obviously diffuses the heat, and it diffuses, it makes the hair go out in a wider stream, I guess, because most diffusers, like if your nozzle on your blow dryer is like this, then most of the diffusers are going to be pretty wide like that. And I actually have a YouTube video where I talk about how I dry my hair with a diffuser. So, okay, our time is almost up. I always say we're going to have these coffee with angels, and it's just about the amount of time that it takes you to finish your first cup of coffee. Of course, I've been talking, so I can't drink and talk. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm just checking to make sure I don't have any more questions. And if you hopped on at the end, no worries. After each of these Coffee with Angels, I always upload it to YouTube, usually the next Saturday morning, which is what I'll do today. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you hopping on and joining me. Next week, we're going to talk about the top 5 ingredients that you must avoid. And honestly, this goes for anybody, whether you have silver hair or not. But the top 5 ingredients to avoid if you're a silverista. So if you watch this once it's uploaded, you can still drop questions into the chat. I check them daily, and I can still get back with you if you have a question about the topics that we discovered. I told you guys I cannot talk this morning. But let me start over. If you watch this after it's been uploaded, which I will upload it to YouTube tomorrow morning, you can still drop questions into the chat because I check the chats every day and I will still answer your question. I got it all out. Okay, guys. So I hope you have an amazing weekend. Thank you again for joining me every Friday for these coffees with Angel. I appreciate it so much. Also, I forgot to mention this at the top. Last Friday or the Friday before last, the video, we had technical difficulties that I didn't realize until after I watched the video. So we should be all good today because what happened was the Wi-Fi dropped like for a few seconds throughout the course of our chat. And so today we should be 100% silver. I don't say golden. We should be good because I attached the computer, hardwired it to the modem upstairs, which is what we used to do when we had to live stream during the pandemic to QVC. So I learned a lot about how to live stream and how to hardwire your computer to the internet instead of using Wi-Fi. So anyway, I'm going to do some behind the scenes so you can see all the wires that are running downstairs to my office down here. But anyway, hey, Shonda, thank you so much. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, if you're just joining Shonda, tomorrow morning, I'm going to upload the full Coffee with Angel to YouTube so you can check it out then. And if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat and I'll get back to you. Okay, guys, I'm signing off. Thank you so much. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you next Friday on Coffee with Angel. Take care. Bye. Oh, wait, here's a question. I'm not going to hang up till I answer this question. Hi, Deborah. Good morning. Okay, so Deborah says, I have sister locks that were colored, but now I'm letting my silver come through. How is the product for my hair? Okay, great. We have a lot of silveristas that have silver locks or that have locks that use the Maison 276 3-step system. So first, let me explain that the 3-step system is not going to remove the color that you previously dyed, right? Just you're going to have to let that grow out. And that's fine. I'm here for the transition. I love, because to me, that's sharing your journey unapologetically. And you have no idea how many people are going to be inspired by just watching you grow out your silver, watching you, embrace your beautiful silver strands. And I always refer people to there are 2 silveristas. Trey's going gray. So right now she's fully silver, but if you look down her feed, she shares lots of images of growing out her hair, and her hair is really long. So, it took a long time to go through that journey. And then Yo Goes Gray also shares a lot of images of her silver journey. And in fact, Deborah, she still has some color on her ends. She was coloring at auburn. So congratulations on embracing your silver journey. And we are here for you. So yes, you can use the 3-step system on your silver locks. It's going to really make that new silver sparkle. And it's going to, make sure that not just your silver hair, but all of your hair is hydrated and conditioned. And then we have another, I can't think of her name right now, but I'm going to put it in the notes. We have a brand ambassador who is also growing out her silver locks. And just a few weeks ago, she posted a video because, like many of the Maison 276 community, they bring their three-step system to the salon with them, and their stylists used it, and the stylists love the three-step system. So I'm going to send you, and I'm going to put it in the chat, her Instagram account so you can take a look. I know her name, but I can't think of her Instagram handle. So awesome, awesome. And if you have any questions, Deborah, we have two Deborahs on the call, which is great because I have a Deborah. We call her T-Dab. But anyway, so yeah. So let me know if you have any questions. So, okay, now, thanks so much for joining us. I'll see you guys next Friday. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.